Hi, this is Ness from Vaytrics, and this is a Vaytrics Beat Machine tutorial. Let's get started. Welcome to the Vaytrics Beat Machine. Here's a quick guide to get you started. The Beat Machine is a digital audio workstation you can use to create/export full songs, but there are only 7 simple tools you need to understand. Let's go through them one by one. So the first tool would be your global controls, is what we call it, and that's where you can save projects, adjust the tempo, play and stop your song, or undo, redo. And the second tool, which is the main feature of the app, is the Beat Machine. Each window has a close button and a help button if it needs it, and you can load them up from the side. On the dock, let's see here, so yeah, generate, you can arrange patterns, so you can generate patterns from scratch and you can arrange them on a timeline if you want to generate. Let's see, visualizer. So the visualizer just gives you some indication of when your audio might be clipping, when it might be good to turn the bass down, and it looks kind of cool. Let's see, next. Effects. So once you create a song, you're going to want to probably apply some effects like reverb, echo, etc., flanger, chorus, distortion. It's all in there, all the normal stuff. You can apply those to whatever channel you are working with. And then when you're ready to go, you can record or you can export your song, and then you can trim it in this little interface, recording interface. You can record from the mic or you can record from the in-app audio. And the file manager. So the file manager is where you will manage like your sample packs, your recordings, and your project files. And it's really not that much to manage. I'll go more in detail with that. The store. So the store is just where you can get new sample packs that are custom made to go, really well in the Beat Machine. They're all small files and they work nicely and they're faded properly and they're named well so they fit in with the naming convention, and they'll be organized by type in the Beat Machine. Okay, let's get started. Let's see here, let me get rid of what I was doing a second ago. Okay, so here's the blank Beat Machine, and normally the tempo will be at 120, but it doesn't really matter. Let's see. So first thing you do when you start a project, basically what I'm going to show you is, for the Beat Machine tutorial, we got generation, we got a beat from scratch and all the interface, what the buttons do. I'm going to go over the visualizer, going to go over recording, and user samples / the store. So let's start with generation. So with the Beat Machine, well, any window you can resize, you can close. There's help docs for some of these to help you get going if you get stuck or whatever. So to generate a beat from scratch, out of thin air, we're going to hit generate over here, and you can just pick a genre and roll with it. So these are all basically beats that we've made that are kind of drawn from randomly out of a database, and the generation features are going to be a lot more awesome soon, but we are working on that. So here's what we got. Cool, so we got a beat playing. Sounds decent. You can pick different genres. So it's kind of fun. If you want to adjust the tempo, you leave this on, so it'll kind of adjust for whatever genre you're in. Like if I pick drum and bass, it's going to use faster tempos. And let's say I just want to get weird with it. I'm gonna go random. This is gonna draw from all the different genres, and then let's say I don't want to clear the previous pattern, so I just want to see what kind of craziness is gonna happen here. So it'll just keep layering. You can just keep it going until it evolves into some mess that you like, or something that sounds good. So when you got a whole bunch of stuff down here and you're like, oh, how do I delete all this? You're just gonna select all the rows that are occupied. So notice there's 6 rows, but I've only been using 4 because 4 is plenty for a lot of things. Let's see. So we're in create mode, and we're gonna select active. So when you're in create mode, basically you're either creating or you're deleting. So I'm either creating or deleting when I click on these. So if I select active in create mode, and I have all the rows selected, you can see I'll delete one row at a time. It's going to select all those that are active because these samplers are active, and that means that they're going to get toggled off because we're in create mode. If we're in edit mode, we can select active and it will select them all. Now if we want to turn all the pitch down, we can do that, but in this case we want to delete, so we're just going to delete them. These little markers over here, plus 1/2, that means it's shifted over in time. This entire row is shifted in time by a 30-second note. So we're just going to move that back to 0, but you can do various triplets and other timings with the shift slider. Okay, cool. So that's basically generation. Pretty simple. It's fun to just kind of have that in the app so you can generate ideas and just mess around. Okay, so let's build a beat from scratch. So let's build a trap beat because trap is hot. It's the thing people like to do nowadays. And also there are some interesting new features that we added mostly specifically for trap beats, like triplets and stuff like that. Let's see what I got here. Alright, I'll just use that kick. So you notice I'm clicking here to play the kick sample. I can change its level, I can change its pitch, change its pan. I'm going to put it in the center because it's the bass. And then I have more controls up here to control it. So I can do rolls, I can do scales for the pitch slider. So yeah, let's start off with a scale. Let's just do equal tuning. If you want to read more about just tune and equal tuning, I recommend it just on your own time because it's pretty interesting. Let's do minor, and note length we'll leave full. It's best to leave the note lengths full unless you need a reason to truncate them. Just helps to keep things running smoothly, especially on mobile. I'm obviously doing this on a desktop, but this is a mobile app for Android and iOS, and it's going to be soon on Gear VR, Daydream, Tango, ARKit, Vive, Oculus. We're trying to hit every platform, so you will see it in other places. Okay, let's get going. So play button up here. I got a kick, and I want to add a kick there, and I need a snare. Just get my tempo down. So okay, I got these 2 rows kind of started here, and now I want more kicks. So what I just did is I clicked load sound right here, and that's gonna load. It's gonna prepare to load one of these sounds. So I can load up a snare, I can load up a kick, gonna load up a kick, and that's basically like a copy and paste method, sort of. So now I can paste that. And notice this kick is like towards the end of the pattern. So I'm gonna cut off the end of it so it doesn't bleed into the first kick. And how we do that is we go to edit mode, and we're gonna select this kick, and I'm gonna move the note length to 1. So that means it's 1, beat length at the end. So it just ends right there before this one starts. And that will keep your kicks clean, especially if you're using longer tones. Okay, let's get some hi-hats in there. And first thing I want to show you is one thing cool about the Beat Machine is you can put sounds on any row. So I'm just gonna move these sounds up because it saves space and it looks cleaner and it's easier to work with. Let's get some hats in there. Analog hat. Oh yeah. Alright, so let's get some hats in here. Let's do a select random because we're like, yo, let's get some hats in here. We don't really care. And now I'm going to select, I'll go to edit mode. I'm going to select active. And for each one of these, I want it to roll a little bit. So I'm going to do a roll on that and unselect. So notice I'm hitting unselect a lot over here. That's just to deselect whatever I got going on. Now that's done, let's do another select random. And this is going to act differently if you're in create mode or edit mode. If you're in create mode, it will select only blank tiles. If you're in edit mode, it will only select active ones randomly. So it might not always select them, but select random. Let's throw some more in there, but let's get some more diverse rolls going on. Cool. Let's change the pitch up on some of these because we're fancy. And notice we're in equal tuning right now, and we're in a minor scale. So the pitch slider is going to react to that. Notice it's skipping numbers 3 to 5. These are intervals on the minor scale. And it's going from the original pitch of whatever the sample is, so it doesn't always make sense to do this if your samples aren't in the same key. So you can use precise tuning to get, in between frequencies that might sound better to your ear. Alright, let's get some melody going. Tones, okay. I like that tone. I'm going to go back to equal tuning, going to go to minor, and actually I'm going to do just tuning. So just tuning is basically the way tuning is supposed to be, but never could be because acoustic instruments have problems. But with computers we can use just tuning and it matches the harmonics of the original bass frequency, which is whatever this dull tone is. So now we can create a melody. And we can just kind of drag the slider around and see what sounds good because it is in the minor scale. And most of it's going to sound good. things aren't really loud enough, so let's bring them up a bit. So we're in effects, and we're going to go, let's see, we're gonna move these panels around a bit, but we can go to the third row, Beat Machine, third row, and let's add a little distortion, let's add a little reverb, got all sorts of reverb, sounds pretty good. So the distortion is going to bring it up in volume a little bit, and the reverb gives it that nice airy tone. And we can select other effects. We could do echo, chorus, high pass filter might sound kind of cool. Little resonance. It's probably good. Cool. So now that we have this, like, decent beat, we're like, oh, that's cool, but I want to see how that's gonna sound slightly differently. So I'm gonna go over some of these fancy buttons we got up here that do just sort of different interesting things that are helpful as a producer to have. So first thing is, like, my hi-hats are a little dull. They're kind of just panned in the center. I want to space them out a little bit. I want to get them a little more lively. So what we can do is we can select that row, and we can use humanize row, and that's gonna basically spatialize it. It's gonna affect the timing slightly to make it not as exact, and it's going to affect the pitch a little bit. So it gives it more of a human quality, and it's pretty subtle effect. So sometimes you can click it up to like 5 times or something, and it'll start to sort of morph it slowly. So let's hear how that sounds. So notice they sound a little lazier, like a little more just like kind of relaxed and like a human's playing it, sort of, and they're spaced out a little bit. You can do more spacing by grabbing edit mode, select random, and just sort of randomly panning some of these. Unselect. From to the right, and this sounds good. Okay, so now we're like, cool, let's go to the next pattern. Let's extend this. So we're gonna go to arrange patterns here, copy pattern, next pattern, which just creates a new one, paste, and then we're like, okay, for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to keep it short and just say, okay, let's just change the melody here. So I already got this minor scale. I got all these notes on the same row. I want to just quickly make a new arrangement. So I'm going to hit modify row, and there we go. And it just like slightly rearranged it into a different melody. Change the pitches or anything, it just swaps the notes around in time. So that sounds pretty cool. Now we can change the playback. Right now we're on the timeline, and if we're playing, then it's going to go to the end of the pattern, and then it's going to come back and go to the next one until it gets to the end of the patterns, to the end of the song. But we want it to loop, so let's put on looping, and at the end of the timeline it's going to start back to the beginning. Sounds pretty cool. A couple more features I'll mention. Quick pick. You can quickly, just like here, kind of what you got, it'll randomly choose a sample, and it will affect the pitch, the level, and the pan. That's about it. It doesn't affect the note length or this stuff. So that's a cool way if you're like, hey, I want a new sound but I don't know what to use. Just click this till something sounds kind of good, like that symbol, and we'll throw that in. And then the other feature is the types. You can organize by type or by pack in the sample pack. So, and this works well if you get ours from the store because they're all organized to fit in with this. But packs, you have the default pack and the user pack. You can add more packs in the file manager. If you go in the help, it will sort of tell you how to do that, where to do that. Basically, you can access everything in this main folder here, which is on Android. It's this path, beatmachine.files, and then it's gonna be sample packs instead of recordings, and that's where you can drop in like whole folders with sounds, and they will get organized into the drop downs on the Beat Machine. And for iOS, you can do it through iTunes by accessing the apps data. Okay, got a little distracted there. But yeah, you can switch between types and packs. I find it easiest to stay in types most of the time, but you can switch to packs if you have, like, you know, awesome 808 drums or something. They'll be there. Let's see. So now that we basically went through the entire interface, all that's left is glitch mode. It's kind of cool. I like glitch mode because it allows you to like do little jam sessions and just experiment with tones and sounds and rhythm without having to arrange a song. You can just kind of let it glitch on for a while and record it. So let's see how that sounds. So well for trap, but for some styles it's pretty cool. Okay, so let's record this. So we can record it. Let's go through, let's do export, record, and then we'll I'm probably not going to do mic record, but you will get the picture. So export will just, it'll go back to the beginning of your song and it'll record through your entire song. Nice. Here we go. So Beat Machine 127 is the name of your recording. You can find that in the app's data path and main recordings, and Beat Machine 127, there it is. And that's just the tempo of the song. That kind of helps you organize and helps you, like, if you want to throw this in another DAW later, you'd be like, oh, it's the tempo is 127. Cool. So here's that, and we're like, oh, I don't really like that reverb space at the end. Trim. You can trim either side. You can move the slider around. That's about that. Okay, so let's say we're like, I want to do like a jam session with glitch mode on. I don't want to record like the song normally, so I'm just going to throw this on and I'm going to hit record now. Cool, so that recorded, and that's audio recording 8. So I got, you know, audio recording 0 through 7 already, and it just added audio recording 8 because it didn't exist, because I must have taken it out or something, because audio recording 9 exists, but exports will be called Beat Machine tempo, recordings are just recordings, and mic recordings are called mic recordings. So there you go. And that's pretty cool. Now we could put this in another DAW, we could do whatever, we could create a full song in here. That's about all there is to it. It's pretty simple, but you can do a lot of stuff. I can undo. Undo works pretty well. There may be some bugs we still need to fix with it, but pretty good. file manager, you can say you do a mic recording, you're like, oh, I want to use that in my song. You select the mic recording, import to the Beat Machine. Okay, that's gonna put it in your user pack. There it is. So, and it'll also be under packs, under user pack. So you can import from, you know, like desktop or other places. On desktop, on mobile, it's not as user friendly, I suppose, with depending on your operating system on mobile. Other things, let's say we want to save this song. So this song, you know, maybe we want to work on it later. Let's call it trap beat save. And now, you know, if I change it, if I like delete this pattern and I hit save up here, it'll save it under that same one. If I want to open a new song, just click open, and you know it'll open the file manager and go to that place, and it'll get you set up to open the project. Let's open ethno trap. And that one must have some problems. Let's try the one we just saved, trap beat. There we go. Okay, so that's about all there is to that. The store, pretty simple. You can buy packs, you can get free credits for like sharing it with your friend. Obviously this is more like for mobile. If you get the desktop app, we just kind of like give you all the samples for free. Redeem code, so that's where you would like enter your code if you get invited to the app to get free credits, and then you can like purchase sample packs. And yep, that's about it. Leave your questions and comments in the comments below, and let me know what sort of specific features you want to know more about, or like what features you want in the app, what sort of new features you want, because we're working on this all the time and we're going to be adding new features. Next things we're adding generation. First we're going to get it on more platforms, more of these VR platforms. Then we're adding in like a lot more generation features so that you can do a lot more complex generation, and it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm excited about it. Then we're going to do MIDI synth. I'm not sure how that's going to look yet, but basically you can have a choice between tons of instruments and scales and stuff like that. Much more traditional DAW melody creation. So that'll be similar to the Beat Machine. It'll be like its own separate tool over here probably. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching this video. Follow us on social media at Vaytrics. Check out our website, vaytrics.com. Thanks a lot. I will upload new tutorials as they're needed.